perspective now from the former Republican governor of the state of Arkansas. Asa Hutchinson joins us. Governor, welcome back. You know, when the Vice President Kamala Harris is in Georgia here the next couple of days, one of the things she will do, at long last, many Republicans will say, is sit down and be interviewed. But she's going to do it with her running mate, Tim Walz, on CNN tomorrow night. Your thoughts on how that is all playing out and what you expect to come out of that interview?
Well, first of all, you can see from J.D. Vance's taking questions from reporters how critical that is. So you're talking about local issues, and so it's critical that Kamala Harris not only do it, but to get away from the criticism of her, but also it is good politics. Whenever you answer those questions, you show your strength, and you can do it. Secondly, it's interesting that she's doing it with Tim Walz. Yeah. It shows the togetherness of their ticket, and you don't see that much that Trump and Vance are campaigning together. They're more separate. So I think there's two good signals there that they're offering. That's
interesting. You see it as a positive because some people have criticized it, saying, and by the way, it's not abnormal to sit down with your running mate. Usually that happens right when you announce the ticket. You know, they usually sit down within a day or two, do an interview, maybe depending on the timing of the convention, but they didn't do that this time. You see it as a positive, not as a criticism. Some people say she should be one-on-one.
Oh, no, she'll be able to answer the questions herself. She's not going to be deferential to Tim Walz. He is there. He's going to be able to answer whatever questions directed to him. But no, I see that as a positive. It's a high-risk issue for her. She's got to get it done, and she's got to do it well, and there's always a potential for mistake that she has to avoid.
What about this map? There's Vance, Erie, Pennsylvania. I talked about it being one of these swing counties that goes back and forth. Pennsylvania is so close. I mean, we talk about Harris having an advantage in the race now, and she does probably, but it's so slight because if she doesn't win Pennsylvania, she's most likely not winning with those 19 electoral votes. The only other way I can think, Governor, that she would win, right, is to go down, here's the polling in all the swing states, to North Carolina, where she's actually been polling well lately. See that 47.6 to 47.6, a dead heat in the state of North Carolina. Those are those numbers in there, and win Georgia. In other words, she wins Georgia, North Carolina, maybe, but Pennsylvania, to me, it still comes down to that. What do you think?
Well, Pennsylvania is absolutely important for both campaigns. Her strategy of making Donald Trump play defense in places like Georgia, where he's got to protect what it should be an easier state for him. That's a pretty smart strategy, but she can't neglect Pennsylvania. Let me talk about J.D. Vance for a second. Okay. One that is so smart, taking those questions from Erie, Pennsylvania reporters. And you notice that one of the things that he talked about was the steel industry. Well, in Pennsylvania, you got U.S. Steel being acquired by a Japanese company, right? And the unions are opposed to it. So he's raising that issue in a pro-union environment. It actually impacts Arkansas because United States Steel has a production facility here. But that is really local politics that he is playing to. Mm-hmm. And then I'd also point out that Tom Ridge, who is from Erie, Pennsylvania, former governor of Pennsylvania, he's not there. He's not supporting J.D. Vance. And so, you know, their closeness of their campaign and their exclusionary part hurts them whenever you can't bring in the Tom Ridges of the world into the campaign.
Right. Or the Asa Hutchinsons of the world, but obviously Ridge is in a key swing state is the point. But that was like that list. There was like 200 officials, something like that, Bush officials, McShane, people who worked in previous Republican administrations who are now signing on for Harris. You probably saw that, and I was almost saying maybe you would be one of them. But I know you're anti-Trump, but you haven't gone all the way, have you?
No, I haven't gone and signed letters like that, but my position is very clear. But it illustrates the point from the Democratic convention when you've got the former presidents on the Democratic label that are speaking, showing unity. On the Republican convention, you don't have George W. Bush there. In Erie, Pennsylvania, you don't have their favorite son there. Yep. And so that's ground that you've got to make up. And I hope that as time goes on, there'll be more healing moments like you saw with Brian Kemp.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.